What's up? Welcome back to another video. Like stated earlier, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be here for a lifetime. So let's get started with the next video. This one's my favorite, actually. I actually love this one because anyone from the age of 16 now, shoot, maybe even lower, like 13, all the way up to like 70 now. Everyone's an entrepreneur. Everybody's an entrepreneur. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. We just like to hype things up and make it trendy. But again, it's one of those things where there's not enough videos telling people like, hey, that sounds good with the Lambos, the cars and everything, but let's dial it back. Let's talk about what it really means to be an entrepreneur. And that's why I'm here. So the first thing that I just want to talk about is the fact that entrepreneurship is basically just another hashtag on IG, Twitter, or wherever you're using your social media accounts. But it's all it is a hashtag at this point. When people say an entrepreneur, they're people that happen to make money on the side or doing some side gigs and like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur now. Or again, if you look at the definition, it's just someone who takes major financial risk or just financial risk in general, and people have really clinged on to that financial risk, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't pay for my car insurance this month, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, come on now, that's just silly. But yeah, it's just for show most of the time when you hear people say that the entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, if someone's an entrepreneur, then they should be worrying about their business. They should be talking to their management, their team, or whatever they got in order to really maximize and expand their business to help improve the quality of our world, or not. But if they're not doing that and they're spending time talking to a rando about how cool it is that I'm an entrepreneur, then something's iffy, and you should really, really just, hey, keep them at arm's bay. Like, hey, man, that's cool. I don't want to hear it. You do you, because I don't hear Jeff Bezos talking to me like, hey, man, hey, I know you want some money. Like, he's not doing that. So moving on, this whole thing of just whipping this 9 to 5 to the ground, saying, oh, you must hate your 9 to 5. You're a horrible excuse as a person if you work a 9 to 5. And you're like looking at yourself, you're like, wow, I really am that scum of the earth. But let me tell you something, like, honest truth. Even like doing YouTube, even doing like anything in this world, you're gonna have to wake up at some point, and you're gonna have to do that work for the day. If you're one of those people that think they want to wake up, have all the money in the world without putting in any work, that's just silly. Like, you still have to do work. I don't get this whole 9 to 5 thing. I really don't. And there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 either. Think about it. For an entrepreneur, they take a lot of financial risk, and some of these risks don't always favor them. They'll make less money than they do at a 9 to 5, guaranteed, going off on their first trial run. So doing a 9 to 5 isn't that bad because you will get paid for every hour you show up. Sure, you may hate some people, but you still get paid for that day. And even then, for an entrepreneur, a lot of the times they are just your run-of-the-mill car salesman. They're just salesmen. That's all they are in disguise. They're trying to convince you to buy their products, watch their videos, or sign up for this course or two, and they're trying to sell you 24/7. And it takes time to make the product or whatever they do. Or if they don't take time to make it, it takes time to get a substantial amount of clientele to keep coming back and back and back and back to continue buying that stuff. It's not easy. And if you're not willing to put in more than 8 hours, 10 hours, and yes, you may have to put that much down sometimes in order to get traffic to whatever you're doing, then there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of spending money on ads. It's a lot of like researching how marketing works, persuasion, negotiation, setting stuff up. If you're not talented to create your own stuff, it takes time and it takes resources. It takes capital, which is money, for if you guys don't know. It takes that. So if you're not down for all that work, then just go do a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with it. You'll get paid, and you'll always get paid. You'll even get benefits, compensation sometimes. And the best part is, it's structured. Some of you guys need that in your life. And if you can't admit it, look deep in yourself or look in the mirror. Sometimes you need structure. Sometimes you want to know that when I get in my car, I want it to work. When I come home, this food that I bought yesterday should be in my fridge. You don't want that maybe it won't work type of feel. And a 9 to 5 is right up your alley. You go into work long enough, maybe get promoted if you really try to get promoted, like you actually talk to your managers and keep working yourself up, then bam, you're going to make your money, man. You're going to make your money. So, yeah, sorry that one went too long. I guess I'm really passionate about the 9 to 5 thing. Like, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. You're still going to work regardless. Another one is like, it's still a luck thing. Like, entrepreneurs, they think once they put entrepreneurship in their bio, they automatically make money. And that's just not true. It really isn't. Sure, some of them that do this already have established like committees, like brands. They already have people that already follow them for who they are as a person and buys whatever they do because they want to be like that person. It's like I'm trying to be you. It's like that human thing we try to do. We try to imitate you on such a psychological level that we even buy the stuff that you're buying. So, yeah, there's that. But at the end of the day, it's still luck. It's still luck in many probabilities. Just because you make a YouTube channel doesn't mean it's going to be 1 million subscribers if you play video games and talk over it. That doesn't mean you'll get 1 mil. Sometimes people will like it, others won't. It happens. Similar if you're going to do it outside of YouTube, like if you're just going to, I don't know, what do entrepreneurs sell nowadays? You don't even know what they're selling. If they're going to sell you how to make money, then yeah, it's still luck. It's still probability because there's tons of people that do it already. What makes you so different? Oh, you have a new technique? Sure you do. What's this technique? Called money surfing, where I educate you on how to money surf. It's the same principles. It's the same principle. What else? Let's make, I want you to pay for people to make your YouTube videos and you don't have to show your face or do any voiceovers or anything like that. Like, come on. That's just silly, man. It's just real silly. But, yeah, it's still luck, man. It's still luck. And if you want to go out there and test your luck and you're very lucky, good job, put in that work. But even then, be weary that you might fail as well. It happens. It happens a lot, actually. So, yeah, just enjoy being lucky if you get lucky. And if you don't beat yourself up too much. You just didn't have it in you. Another one is like, you don't become an entrepreneur and just get money. It's still a job. I think that's why I spent so much on the 9 to 5. It's still a job. I don't know where we got in our head that it isn't. It's still a job. Like I said before, you're still a salesman. You're still trying to convince people, negotiate them, and tell them what to do to buy your stuff, to get them to land here on their site and purchase this item or watch a video for longer than, 2 minutes. You still got to do the work that puts into it, man. It's still a job, and it's not something you just become and you get tons of money. Because there's one rule my whole philosophy is around. It's like, the more money you make, the more responsibilities you have to maintain it, depending on how you structure and, different scenarios, blah, blah, blah. But the more money you get, the more responsibility you have to maintain it, regardless. So for those that are like, I want $1 million. I want to make 100K a year. I want to do all this big money stuff. And then I talked to him like, so what do you want to do with all that? I want to travel, buy the latest cars and everything like that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, is it just the ownership that you want? Or is it just experiencing that? Because we can go to a dealership and pretend to buy this car and you can have a good joyride for the weekend. You could even rent it on Turo. You can do a lot. Luxurious stuff, travel. You want to travel? You can save up. Shoot, Fiji, last time I checked, like a quick trip is like 500. You may not have it, but if you think you need $1 million to get 500, I don't think so. Especially if you look at how much you spend for the month. Some of us spend over 500 anyway. Some of us even bought $1,000 phones or $2,000 computers. So you got the money for it. You can do it. It's all about breaking stuff down. Like, if you can break it down, then most of the stuff you're asking for can be achieved on a relatively small scale, and you don't really need that much. So for those that want it to make it big and become an entrepreneur, slow it down sometimes. Sometimes you can think to yourself and go, you know what? The main thing that makes me happy is just playing a game. And hey, you don't need millions to do that. Or another one, hey, what makes me happy is just messing around with my friends. Hey, sign up for some friend groups and make some friends. Talk to them. Find out their quirks, find out their personalities, and mess with them. See if they're okay with it. Really be friends. Or another one, especially this one, if all you do is like to sleep and watch Netflix and go to the mall every once in a while and eat some food, then you don't need $1 million. Burgers are still going to be made of either beef or bison. Chicken's going to still be made of chicken. The sauce or whatever they put to caramelize everything to make it so gourmet, that may be different. But at the end of the day, this stuff does not change. It's still the same thing, more hyped or more simplistic. But that's all I got to say, man. I really love entrepreneur talk because it's such a concept that everyone gets like super happy about. But then once they get started, they're like, whoa, what the hell? But anyways, thank you for watching the video if you made it this far. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned. I'm going to be here for a while.